golf here.
To the Northman. I must have the Thornin. The Northman, directed by Robert Eggers. Full spoilers for this movie. If you've not seen this movie yet, do your thing. Not quite as important as Everything Everywhere All at Once, but still, if you're spoiler averted. So what do we think about this?
I will go first. I really liked this movie. I had an absolute blast with it. I'm not going to say I absolutely loved it because there are things that kind of got me, but on a whole, this movie was fantastic, and I really enjoyed watching it.
I agree 100%. I won't say that I loved it, but I definitely really liked it. Hopefully during this discussion I can figure out like where I totally land on it, but I'm very positive. Man, Alexander Skarsgård is so jacked in this movie. It's insane. His traps have traps on traps. He looks like a hunchback almost at times.
He's kind of like when he's the slave, he's kind of like hunching over.
I do like his change in demeanor when he's the slave. I mean, outside when he was the beastman, or I mean, he was a kid, but when he is questing and when he's murdering. And then he changes. It's kind of like the Clark Kent effect, whereas you stay hunched and you try to keep your head down. But when he's, on the prowl and like kicking ass and taking names, his demeanor completely changes. His body language completely changes.
Clark Kent.
Yeah. Pull up Grayson's comment.
No.
Grayson, you should always be questioning your masculinity. If you are worried about questioning your masculinity, don't know how to tell you.
If you're questioning it, you're being questioned.
Okay. I really like this one. I thought this was a lot of fun. I think Robert Eggers is great anyway, but like there's some gorgeous shots of like Iceland scenery in this movie.
It's the type of thing where like we watch so many special effects movies that use special effects to convey the things that just are alive in our world. And like you watch this movie and they're just like, there's specifically a montage of when the slaves are being transported across Iceland, and there's a bunch of different types of scenarios or like environments, and it's like that's all real. That's all real. That's insane. The world is so beautiful, and like we really don't get to see it that often because we're stuck in concrete jungles. Gorgeous movie, insanely beautiful.
We forget how beautiful places like Iceland are, and films like this remind us is like, yo, this is what the environment is like over there.
Yeah.
The Ethan Hawke is great.
I really like his 5 minutes. He's really good.
Either way,
his line of like, I want to go out by the sword, not as a coward graybeard. Because you were seen in that culture, if you got gray in your beard, that means you're a coward because you were never in a battle.
Yeah, because you got too old. You lived too long.
Yeah, that was. I loved. Okay, so I want to talk about one of the things that I really loved about this movie, and I was talking to a friend, one of our viewers, Amy, because we were talking about this movie. She was kind of on the fence about it, but one of the things I loved, and that she also agrees was really good, was how they kept the mysticism in this film, and it wasn't like over bombastic, like straight magic mysticism, but it was like kind of like it makes sense, but you still have that sense of magic in the air. Like a good scene is like when Anya Taylor-Joy's character, I can't remember her name, Olga. Olga. When Olga is chanting in her mother tongue and she asks the wind to take her and her babies home, and the wind and the sails full. That's awesome. Or one of my favorite bits of the movie is when people are trying to draw the sword, but they can't because it's daylight.
Also really like speaking to that point, the fight scene with the zombie king.
Fanny keeps calling it an Elden Ring boss fight.
What's
I think also felt Elden Ring.
I think the term, this is just going by God of War, is Draugr.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Draugr. Skyrim is the same way. Yeah.
Okay. And so like that was really cool. But when it ends and he puts his face up his butt, it goes back and nothing had happened. But you like, it's kind of left up like, okay, well, did something happen? Or is this part of the spell that it just kind of reverts after you?
That zombie king scene is so well shot because it's like a one shot of he beats the king, and then it goes back to the origin where he's standing in front of the king. It is like an overhead thing, and it's like, and it's like it's so well done. And it's like, yeah, was it all in his brain? Was it real? I was like, love it.
That's what I was saying. That's part of the mysticism that I love about this. And even when we get a quick shot of Odin.
Yeah.
Odin is
when he's in the background with the crows.
Yeah, for a split second, it's like that's what I really enjoy about this movie. It's like it doesn't go like hardcore magic, but it also doesn't go like direct realism as well. It's like it plays the middle ground so well that it's like it can be magic or it can be amazing coincidence. We don't know.
I watched an interview with the director Robert Eggers, and he said, so I believe him, this is the most historically accurate Viking movie ever made. He went to Sweden and Denmark and Iceland, and he talked to scholars and historians, and he went to all these places in real life. And because growing up, he was very anti-Viking, because in modern culture, white supremacists have taken on Viking culture and like their slogans and the runes and stuff. So he was very anti-masculine, anti-Viking. And then he went there and he learned about it and the lore and the culture and the mysticism and all that. And he's like, God, this is so fascinating. There's one group shouldn't own this. This is bullshit. So he made this movie. So everything you see in this movie is as accurate as it could possibly be, including all the clothing, every like structure that they made, all the weapons. Like it's all real deal shit. So like all that mysticism stuff is like what they really did and believed.
I really appreciate that they used the Old Norse translations for all the like Valhall instead of Valhalla.
Yeah, hell. Yeah.
Odin, Valkyr instead of Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that they going back to that what you're talking about, the historically accurate thing, like really just like this is how they would have said it in their language at this time.
I knew I was gonna real quick, Ben. I knew I was gonna like this movie. Like Robert Eggers is like he's a dude who makes good shit, but like early in the movie when Amleth is he's doing the beast stuff with the guys by the fire and they're just dancing and then they turn into beasts and they're all howling and it's still just like one shot. It's like a 5-minute scene. I'm just like, oh, this is the good shit. This is getting a view into history. Like obviously like this happened in 895 or whatever. This is a real long time ago. I'm never gonna experience that, see that, know what it's like. This is as close I can get to like what it was like. And I'm like, that's incredible. I'm like seeing how it used to be. And I'm like, the world's weird, man. We used to be beastmen.
Like you see the scene with Ethan or with the king and Amleth, his son, when they're doing the beast thing as well with Willem Dafoe's character, the court jester. And it's like, there are times where I'm watching this, I'm like, this is some weird stuff, but at the same time, it's like, but this is probably what they did back then. This is what their rituals were about. And it's like, and it's weird. It looks odd, but that's what they did. So
like they believe that like there's animals inside of them, like it's part of them.
And they interestingly they didn't punish emotion. This is kind of something that I stumbled on before this movie. That Vikings were like totally fine with crying. Which in our culture is even today is seen as like an emasculate thing, but like there's a bit where Defoe takes his tear and is like, this is the only tear you will shed. This is the last tear you will shed, and the next time you cry is when you've taken vengeance on whatever.
You have to earn your tears.
You have to earn your tears.
Yeah.
That's a really good scene.
Yeah, it's like this is the last tear you will make in weakness.
Oh, and weakness. That's it. That's it. Yes. That's good stuff. Good stuff.
Then you see Amleth goes to like a shaman underground and then he gets Willem Dafoe's zombie head.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff. Good. All the stuff with that guy like chanting. Okay, so throat chanting is back, y'all. We got it in Dune. Now it's back in the Northman. I love me some like, oh yeah. I love that. I love hearing it. So much of it. Nicole Kidman is so good in this movie. She gives a speech.
She kisses her son.
Well, hey, man, Hamlet is a thing. This is based off spoilers. The Viking sagas. It's what Hamlet is based off of. So Hamlet's stole from that, and that's in the Lion King became that. It's moms kiss people. It's gross.
Gross. This is the story. This is the story that Shakespeare that made Hamlet off of. And I thought that was really interesting when I learned that, because like you always think of Hamlet being of like Shakespeare being the inspiration. You never think of what inspired him.
Yeah. Right.
It's kind of it's a little little similar to when John Carter came out and everyone said it was a Star Wars ripoff. When John Carter was what influenced Star Wars.
Yeah, and what I love is like I'm pretty sure like most of the people in this movie are fake, but there's references to real shit happening. So like Fjolnir, the evil uncle, he got his ass kicked by King Herod, who's king of the Vikings and king of the Danish. So it's cool that like real world stuff was happening while this guy got his ass kicked. So like this whole story of revenge, it's like a side story of a guy who lost.
Yeah.
So it's just a bunch of like, when you look at it, it's all sad. It's all just revenge begets revenge. It's all sad, and the ending is sad, but it's so good. Like Vikings.
Fjolnir the brotherless.
The brotherless, yeah.
Fjolnir was king of Norway, and then another king just came in and kicked him out. And that's why he fled to Iceland.
King Herod. Yep. He's
became a sheep farmer.
He did.
Yeah.
The volcano fight scene. Awesome.
Oh yeah. That was
my God, bro.
That was so good.
Naked volcano fights are great.
If I have one, now this is the dumbest of nitpicks, but if I had one tiny little nitpick, like when they say, I will meet you at the gates of hell, and they go to the volcano, it's like, that's technically not hell. Or that's not their hell.
It's the mouth of hell.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's not their hell?
Because isn't it in Viking and Norse mythology, their hell is bitter cold? It's frozen. It's literally frozen.
I don't think they literally.
You're right.
Hell, it's true, but like I think the gates of hell is that volcano. I think that like it's both like we're going to hell together to die, but also we need to meet in a place that's like hell, which is
But when I see a volcano, it's like, hey, we're going to the gates of hell, and I see fire and brimstone. It's like, yeah, but that's not the Viking hell.
You know what? I'll allow it.
Yeah.
I'll allow it because you are right.
Yeah.
That the realm of hell is ice cold, and that's rare in that. So yeah, you know what? Good point. Actually,
but the gates of hell might be different.
Yeah, there's also that.
I'll just say I trust the guy who made the most historically accurate Viking movie to know what he's doing.
Oh no! Once again, this is not me saying that this is ruining the movie. This is just me being very, very nitpicky. Because when I was watching that, sorry, Brandon, I'm going to put you on the spotlight here because I remember from Miscellaneous when you and Sparks were talking about hell, and of course when we were playing God of War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean,
it's a cool concept, by the way.
Of course, that was the tiniest little nitpick I have, but that volcano scene is probably my favorite scene in the whole film, just because of how well it's shot. You can see Fjolnir in the smoke, just barely.
Just shows up naked.
You know what? Maybe because it's instant death at a volcano.
Yeah.
It'll go to hell.
Instant death. Yeah. The mushroom scene. Real quick, the mushroom scene I love. Also, the guy who gets his nose cut off and he's like a side character the whole movie, love that guy. Piece of shit the whole way through. He gets what he deserves. But that mushroom scene is so good and it's so scary because the second the guy starts doing this, you know what's happening. And then you hear the screams along the entire beach. And you see everyone just killing themselves. And I'm like, man, this is wild. I love it.
If there was one thing I was hoping like Fjolnir's oldest son had a bit more of a fight with what's the main character's name? Amleth, yeah. I was hoping there would be more
Hamlet.
of a fight. Yeah. Viking Hamlet. I was hoping there'd be more of a fight because like when he first meet him, like, Amleth is enslaved, and then I just love how he goes over and he like punches him on the side and doesn't do jack shit. And I'm like,
well, because see, I see what you mean, but I actually think it's better that he didn't go out he did not go out honorably. That's the whole point. He didn't go out fighting. He died in his sleep and it got his heart taken out. He died like the worst possible way he could. Like that's the reason he did that.
I didn't even notice that Fjolnir had his hand in his son's chest until he took it out. Because he that was an instinct. He was like, gotta see if the heart's there. It's not.
Because he can't go to Valhalla without it. It's where his soul is.
Yeah. I thought that and then he shows up with the do you want the heart back? He starts fighting with the heart in his back.
Oh my god. Dude, he's like the most intense scream, like, I am Hamlet, I will kill you. And he's just like, ah, he's about to Hulk out of his own body. He's so ripped. It's like I feel like drink some water, Alexander Skarsgård.
And he fights fights them with the sheath on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And Ben, you brought up earlier how they can't unsheath it during the day. That's a good catch.
I love because like twice, like when Amleth gets his sword, or like he's there, he sees it, he sees his chance. Oh shit, he runs away. And then when No-No's dude, he can't draw the sword So he's like, F it. And he just tosses and he just chucks it.
His death is gnarly.
Oh yeah, definitely. We didn't have a big crowd, but I was sitting next to Sparks' mom and Megan, his partner. And the slow blade through the nose, the entire audience of like 8 people went, "Oh!" It was a lot.
Yeah, it's really good though.
Very visceral, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely shows the brutality of that age too. Like when the Beastmen take over that village, and they round up a bunch of the villagers and the kids, and they toss them into
burn the kids,
and they burn them because that age in human history was unrelentingly brutal.
Well, you see, like that's also what kind of puts the main character on the path to going to remembering like this is what his thing, because he sees the kid run away like he did.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He sees essentially him, and then he gets captured and put in a flaming building.
And he already seems to have some like, he says like, I don't kill women. It's like he's a bad guy, but he has some reservations.
Yeah.
Was it Anya Taylor-Joy like has her period? It's like rubs it on his face.
Oh my god, yeah, because Fjolnir wants to like give her some, and she's like, not this time, big boy.
And it's just
really gross.
Yeah, it's really gross.
And even her lines like, "Oh, I see you're not afraid of a woman's blood anymore." It's like, "Oh, burn."
Yeah.
You mentioned Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
We didn't really go too much into her.
No, we did not.
But yeah, she's the brilliant thing. I begged Fjolnir to kill your father.
So it's probably me just not picking up on cues early on in the movie, because to me it was a twist of when she revealed to Hamlet that she was the one who helped orchestrate his father's death.
Oh,
and
no,
wanted to orchestrate.
It is 100%. It is 100% a twist. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see it coming. I thought it was going to be 2 things. First, I thought it was going to be after 20 years, Fjolnir was actually going to end up being a good person. So he was going to have conflict. That's not the problem. He's still a bad guy. Second, I thought it was going to be that Nicole Kidman just over time learned to love him. And it wasn't that she was evil. But no, she was bad from the get-go. She's the instigator. She needs to get punished.
And she wanted to kill... She was hoping they would kill her son.
Yeah.
It's like, they were supposed to get you too.
And it is a great speech because, like, we only saw the good of Ethan Hawke's character. He, for all we know, was a bad king, a bad guy, all that stuff. Like, did not like his wife, made her have a child. So,
she shows her slave mark.
Yeah.
That she was a slave herself. That she was taken from
Brittany.
Yeah.
She was taken from the land of Brittany, which is Britain, I think.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
So
it's
there you go.
Devious. And it's just like, shows that like, oh, devious people they meet up and then they cause that shit.
I mean, you feel bad because, I mean, like for Hamlet, he is this character that you want to see succeed and win, but at the same time, he's not the best person because he was part of the Beastman tribe. He would do raids on villages and help in the slaughter of other people. But then you see that his whole life was essentially everything he was fighting for up to that point. Like, he wanted to save his mother, and when he finally gets the chance, he's like, "Mom, let's go." She's like, "No, I wanted this. I wanted you dead."
Gunnar, I gave birth to Gunnar free of my. That's my son. This little kid, not you.
Just that.
What did Bjork say to him? Like, you'll have to choose to
choose your kin or choose like your love or revenge, basically.
Yeah. And like when
I choose both.
You chose revenge. Like he's like deluding himself to think that no, this is the right thing. But like if he had just left, Fjolnir wouldn't have come after him.
No, he would have. No.
There's no way Fjolnir was going to leave Iceland. He was just going to if he could just like biggie bounce back to Norway. He's like, yeah, you're fine. But
and like the thing of like he's going to his death once he leaves that boat. Like he says, I'll come back, I'll find you. But like, no. He's chosen the path that will kill him, and he chose wrong. And that kind of becomes a tragedy in a way.
Because Fjolnir is not a king anymore. He's a shepherd.
He's a chieftain.
Like he would leave
a chieftain. He isn't a
leave you alone.
He's just a chieftain. He has no grand army. He has no host. He has maybe like a handful of fighters, and
he's got a dozen men. Yeah,
the best one among them was Hamlet because he saved their son during that field.
Very violent game.
Yeah.
Oh
my god. Yeah.
When the guy was about to smack the ball into the kid,
that was gonna kill him.
Your chief is right there. What are you doing, bro?
Right.
He just loved violence. I love the showing of the family tree. It's like the branches of like the tree, and you actually see like the people on it. Like you're like looking at like like a map of a family tree. And I love the end where like he sees like his 2 unborn children. He's like, I'm gonna have twins. You have to live. I'll be right back. I'm getting cigarettes.
Yeah. Doesn't Ethan Hawke take off his shirt and like his like stomach becomes the tree, and like we see the tree
Oh yeah.
through him?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's good. Oh yeah, like and in the beginning of the movie when you see his wound and it's like it's just like gooey, like ew.
Yeah.
Or there's a bit where the guy gets so cut up and he runs through the door and he's like with his guts hanging out.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
Body parts get turned into like a horse or something.
Yeah, like
so
like
sick.
like a horse or something. Wild.
And you see that one dude just get literally flayed, and then the sacrifice goes free.
Intestine goes.
The scene with the Valkyrie was pretty cool, where he thinks he's going to Valhalla, aka Valhalla, but then he wakes up in the hot spring, and then when you actually do see him riding with the Valkyrie into the gates of Valhalla, I was like, I mean, it's like he did get his revenge, and he's going to Valhalla, but he's missing time with his. I'm just gonna call her his wife and unborn children.
Yeah,
but this is a tragedy. It's a tragic story, but it's not one that makes me sad. Like, oh, I'm so sad. But it's like, it was a good ending. I would say it was a great ending.
The Valkyrie have it looks like they have braces. It's not. Yeah. They file their teeth and they put stuff in their teeth to make them look like they're battle ready.
Interesting.
So it's basically battle braces for Viking warriors.
Oh, because Fanny was asking about that. She's like, she's wearing braces. I'm like,
battle braces. Yeah.
So like they just file their teeth in and they
like cut holes basically in their teeth and shove shit in there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Ben, I believe, no matter who you are, if you die in battle, you go to Valhalla.
Oh yeah. That's what it was. I mean,
so if you don't die in battle, you go to hell, which is a crazy system. If you die in battle, you go to basically heaven. If you just die, well, you go to hell.
I was I remember that episode of Miscellaneous, or I remember your episode of Miscellaneous too, because that is because that's one of the things I love about Ethan Hawke's character, the king. He said he can't be a shameful graveyard because he's like, I have to die in battle. Whereas now that I look back on it, it's like maybe there is some dissent with the queen because her husband at the time is like, oh, I just need to go out conquest and just die. I have a kid. I have a queen,
we look at it from 2 different perspectives, right? Because it looks like from the audience that Ethan Hawke comes back and he's so excited to see his wife and he's so excited to see his kid. He's so happy to be home. But the way Nicole Kidman spins it is that he couldn't wait to leave.
Yeah.
So I whatever story is true, but like Nicole Kidman's.
Well, I mean, that's what
kill her dad.
That's what's great about the story is that they could both be right. Amleth could see the perfect vision of his father, while he is also really terrible to his mother. Those can both exist. And that's what's so cool about stories like this, where we can get blindsided by Nicole Kidman saying he's not the perfect person you thought he was. Like, isn't that like all of growing up, like realizing like people aren't always who they think they are? Like, I thought that was really, really well done. And like,
he kills both of them on accident.
How do you kill 2 people accidentally? That's crazy, guy.
that actually that hurt. And of course, man, that guy's got some willpower for getting stabbed that many times by his half younger brother.
Ooh, yeah, right in the shoulder a bunch. Yeah.
That's a sword too. That's even worse. But Brandon, you're 100% right. It doesn't matter who you are. You die in battle, you go to Valhalla. You die of old age, you go downstairs.
Brian, what were you gonna say?
When Fjolnir, after the massacre of the family happens, and he just walks in, he sheathes his sword.
Yeah,
because he's like, this is too much. Meet me in hell, my guy. Fisticuffs, naked fisticuffs. And I'm like, oh man, because I was just expecting because I forgot there was a volcano fight. So I was just like, is he just gonna fight over the corpses of his family? And he's like, no, we're gonna settle this the gates of hell. And I'm like, yeah, there's a final title card, the gates of hell with 1 L.
And they spelled it right.
What's the a lot of horse decapitation happening in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like we're watching Moon Knight. very different but similar. You take your pets and friends and shit with you when you die and stuff. Like that horse is gonna help you in the afterlife. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, apparently, according to the priestess, that horse was killing the horse meant the horse's spirit was able to take the son's body to Valhalla.
Wasted a good horse, if you ask me.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, I think this movie's really good. I don't necessarily know if I have much more to add, though.
Yeah, I think
I don't. The only time where I get a little iffy is like the crazy, the mushroom scene. Well, not the when I say mushroom scene, I don't mean like the mushroom scene where everyone's dying and killing themselves. I mean the scene in a few scenes at the very beginning of the movie where they're doing the crazy rites, like the basement stuff, and
sure,
and all that, just like sort of thing. But then when we get to actual, and also there are times where it was really hard to understand what some of these people were saying, be it just their accents or the way the words are pronounced, which I completely understand. It's a different dialect. These are old Norse languages. They're very hard to understand. But other than that, the acting was amazing. Well, I don't have a lot of nitpicks other than the hell thing, but that's just besides the point. This was still a fantastic film. But I still don't know if I love it or not, and that's
the thing is, like, it's one of those situations where, like, it's pretty simple, and again, I don't mean to say like that's negative, but like it's a pretty simple revenge story that visually does a lot of the work for me. The acting is really great, but it's mostly like the environments and like what's happening. The script itself, like, because it's old dialogue, like sometimes I was like, could you repeat that?
I know what I do when I watch this film again, and I know I'm going to watch this film again. I'm definitely watching with the subtitles on.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I look at the 3 movies he's made, The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman, and I think, and again, this is not negative. I think this is my least favorite of the 3, but this is still a really good movie. Like The Lighthouse is exceptional, and The Witch is exceptional.
Now, I haven't seen The Lighthouse, but I have seen The Witch. But I would definitely rather watch this over The Witch again.
That's because that's a spooky movie.
Well, besides the fact it's a spooky movie, but also this one definitely pertains to my interest because you know me, I'm a sucker for kick-ass sword fights, and there is some great sword fights.
There's a bit where he catches the spear and then turns around and throws it back. That's pretty good.
That's all like one shot too of him like climbing the thing. I'm like,
that was so badass when he catches the spear and just chucks it back. It was like, yeah, kill him.
Yeah, really great visuals, and a lot of it again is just like practical, just like, hey, to shoot on location,
I mean, I know this is technically this is a historically accurate scene of events, like, because I thought it was like, oh, it's a period piece / historical fantasy, because like the magic shit, but because I thought, oh, this is probably just this is like somewhat a truly original film, because a lot of people going into this weekend or last weekend when this movie came out, they were saying that if you don't see this movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and you complain about Hollywood not having original ideas, you're full of shit.
100%. I mean, this is based off of like the most famous story in all of like the Viking sagas. Like it is like their like not their Bible, but like it's like it is well known. Like,
but it's not on the same level of what has dominated blockbuster cinema.
Oh no, not at all. Yeah.
This is still this qualifies in that conversation.
Oh no, yeah, not yeah. It is original.
I'm the opposite of Ben. I've only seen The Lighthouse. I've not seen The Witch. So this is I think I probably would prefer The Lighthouse to this one.
Yeah, I just think like I don't think I have to see it again. I don't think the pacing is bad in this. I just think there are definitely moments of I think I have to see it again to really cement that like the pacing isn't perfect. But I don't really have any problems with it. But again, like it's a good solid revenge movie.
Very solid film. Yeah.
I'm gonna rate it right now. I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
8.5. Ben.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
9.5.
Damn.
I mean, once again, I keep saying I don't love it, but the more I think about it, the more I was like, but it's like this movie was just so good. This was, I mean, I know I've said, oh man, I love this movie, I give it an 8. But for me, just like everything this movie's done, like costumes, the lighting, the acting, the directing, everything about this, like the fantastical elements, like you were saying, this is the most historically accurate Viking film ever made. And
real quick, I want to talk about the magic, because you said like, could this be real or not? Nothing happens in this movie. No magic happens in this movie. When she does the wind thing, the wind just happens to like, that's all coincidence. Like all the curse stuff, that's just people killing people. So like all that stuff is like they could all believe in it, but like in this movie, it shows that like it's not actually real. It's just what they believe, and I think that's also really cool.
But also keeps it a little ambiguous so that it could be.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It takes some of the mysticism, but it doesn't like over extrapolate it. Like like you were saying, like that part's like it could be magic or it could just be a great coincidence when she does the wind. But my whole thing is the sword. The sword that cannot be drawn during the daytime. Because that
is one, yeah.
That is the biggest outlier. Like there could be magic. There could be some extra.
Here's a combination lock on it.
It's like 2, 2, 5.
So that sword that he wields is a real sword that is like in some museum somewhere. It is like the lost like Viking sword. It's basically their Excalibur, like for real.
Yeah.
And it's got like the runes like written on it. Forged in Fire, which is a blacksmithing show that I've started to watch. They recreated what one of those on the show. So it's like Viking swords are cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I would rate it an 8.5, just like Ryan.
Hell yeah, great movie.
Great.
Yeah. Really enjoyed this. Glad we got to see it.
Time for the book club.